Okay, so we just finished watching Beautiful Creatures, and this is, I thought we would film our initial reaction to this movie. So, okay, so what did you think?
Honestly,
Yeah.
what the hell did I just watch?
This movie has a lot of plot holes.
Like half the movie to me, I was confused. Like I'm like, what? How'd this happen? How'd this happen? I don't know if that's just because I didn't read the book.
It's possible, but the thing is, like, when you watch a movie like this, yes, it's based on a book, but first of all, it's it's a movie, so
Yeah.
on its own merits, I think this movie is kind of really boring.
Yeah. They're just like dragging this thing on. They're like,
The movie
yeah.
was, like, the whole time I just kept thinking of, when is this movie gonna end? When is this movie gonna end? And I thought the main character was really
Boring.
unlikable. Like they tried making him likable, but
I hated the main character.
Yes, he
So much.
not to sound like vain or anything, but I felt he did not look the part. He was kind of ugly.
Like I don't know.
I don't know. Like
He was so annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, I would have liked the movie a lot better if it was just about the girl.
Yes.
I feel like
if the girl had a bigger part,
Yeah.
then I would have liked the movie a lot more.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the first episode of season 3 for the Black Couch. This is episode 21, and
whoa,
in this
21.
yes, and in this episode, we're gonna be reviewing Beautiful Creatures. Okay, so first off, we're gonna be talking about the story, overall story. So, overall story, what did you guys think?
It was kind of bland.
It was. Oh, I mean, I'm sure the book probably did a better job of explaining
Yes,
it.
but the fact is, it's still a movie first,
Yeah.
right? Just doesn't matter if it's adapted from a book. We still have to
Judge
But
it
they
as
did-
a
judge
but-
it as a
but-
movie. And as a movie, I
Yeah.
think it was really long and boring.
Yeah.
The scenes dragged on for so long.
Yes, there were a lot of dragged out scenes, and I felt like there was some good stuff hidden underneath all that boredom and everything.
But you had to pick really far.
You had to pick
Yeah.
really far to get into it, and some scenes were good. I mean, I did find some enjoyable stuff, like when they were explaining the whole idea of the casters and what happens when she turns 16 and stuff like that.
But just giving us the information is enough. It didn't.
Yeah, there was a
enough.
lot of exposition that was just like plain, like just her giving the information
Yeah.
to you. I felt like that was kind of like unnecessary. They could have done some other way to like make it flow better.
Yeah.
Exposition and so I felt like there were good moments, but the way they presented it,
It was just kind of disjointed. And
at this point, disjointed. I felt like a lot of the dialogue was really awkward and corny
Yeah.
and cliche.
Yeah.
It was just
So
many. It was so predictable.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
knew what they were gonna say. It wasn't
Yes.
like a surprise. You didn't
There,
know.
there were a lot of
oh.
predictable moments, and the climax was really underwhelming.
Like, was there any climax? To be honest, like I didn't feel a
Yeah,
climax.
I didn't feel like there was any sort of
The first Transformers had a better climax.
yeah. There was no rise and then
Yeah.
fall. It was just like
No.
stuff happened.
Yeah.
Like
It-
yeah.
Like instead of the rise, it was just like the whole movie was just this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was just like that. And I remember sitting there thinking, "What time is it? This feels really long."
I remember. The thing I remember is every 5 minutes, this one took out her iPod. And
Yeah,
was checking
and
the
if
time.
the movie's doing that, it's not
Like
doing anything
I
good.
never do that during a movie because I'm usually so sucked in. But
Yeah,
this
but
movie, I was
this
like
movie-
every second I couldn't
And I
help
feel like
it.
there were a lot of plot holes in this movie.
Yeah.
That a lot of things that they didn't explain. And I felt like, especially if you're making a movie adapted from a book.
You need to have those explanations
Yeah,
to why.
because you gotta expect a lot of the audience not to have read the book.
Yeah.
I feel like when you make a movie like this, you have to make it in the point of view where you're thinking like, oh, we're making a movie where
Yeah.
for people who haven't read the book yet.
Who've
Yeah.
never heard of anything like this before.
Yeah, you were talking about the music.
Like the music to me, okay, when I was like Beautiful Creatures, fantasy, music's gonna be really memorable because, well, that's what I expect because like Harry Potter's kind of like that and I totally remember anything from Harry Potter, but no, the movie's music I can't remember any of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
And I felt like the acting was fine.
It was alright.
Most of the way through.
It was just kind of on.
Yeah, and you were talking about like the costumes and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the costumes were very well done.
Yeah, I feel like the world they made of the casters.
The casters was good.
Yeah, and I feel like the house was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
and,
but Gatlin, South Carolina was just so boring.
Yeah, but other than that, I think it comes down to everything else is fine except for the story. I think they adapted it poorly. I don't know about the book. I haven't read it, but I think they adapted it poorly. It was really boring, dragged out, and yeah. So now let's talk about the characters. Now the main character, played by I don't remember her name. Unfortunately, we apologize. But the main character, I felt she did fine.
Yeah.
I
thought she was interesting.
Quite technically, she's not the main character, but let's just for purposes this thing.
Yes, she's not exactly the main character, but I feel like she should have been the main character.
She should have been.
This is based on casters, right? But she did a fine job. I feel like she was kind of likable, and
she played her part well.
There were some scenes where I was like, wow.
But
this motherfucker.
Ethan White, at first he was okay. I was starting to really like him, but then like the more you got to know him, the more you didn't like him.
I hated this guy so much.
He tried being funny all the time and likable, but he just I don't know, something about
I don't
know. He's the annoying guy that always tries to help you, but doesn't end up doing shit.
And not to be vain or anything, but I feel like he didn't look the part either.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's ugly.
I'm just saying, what does she see in him?
Yeah, and for this kind of role where it's like a teen movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't look that great.
I feel like this movie's attracted to female viewers.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this guy would be the point for you to see it.
I felt like you said, he felt like the main character. It was most he was the narrator.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the time it was focused on him. But I feel like it should have been focused on her because he has no powers.
Yeah.
And basically, if he wasn't in the movie, I think
it would have been a lot better.
They could have worked it in. They could have changed a lot of things where just made her the main character, and that would have been fine. And it felt like their romance was just put in just because.
Way too forced.
Yeah, way too forced. But we'll talk about it later. Yeah. But yeah, he felt highly unnecessary, and
his personality was very boring. The way he talked, I was just
and
like,
this cocky piece of shit.
Yeah.
I hate him so much.
Yeah, he was not. And the way he was trying to fight for her, it was just really corny. Anyway, so the uncle, Mekin.
Maikin? I don't know.
He was. I didn't really care for him that
At
much.
first, I thought, this guy he seemed like a badass at first. But then,
I didn't care for him at all.
As the movie went on, I was like, this guy sucks.
It turned out he's a big wimp.
Yeah. Towards the end, something happens to him, and you just don't care. So.
Yeah. You're just kind of like, it happened.
But her, on the other hand,
this girl.
I think
she's my favorite character.
I think she's also my favorite character because she's so despicably enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
The way she acts, the way she talks.
Yeah.
She's so evil.
But it's funny.
But you like it.
Yeah.
And plus, she's not that bad looking.
She's not over the top evil. Where God.
And she's wearing dresses that way too low cut for any kind of.
Yeah, and before you were saying how she should have been the main villain.
Yeah, she should have been the main villain.
Because I wanted to know more about her.
we
do get backstory, but they don't expand on that.
Yeah.
And I feel like they really wasted the good potential on this character.
A lot of this character is just underdeveloped.
Yeah. So who the actual villain is her.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
which I don't feel like she was. I didn't feel like she was really the villain. She wasn't really in the movie. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, not really. And something happens to her at the end during the climax that makes the climax really stupid.
Which wasn't really a climax.
And she was not that threatening. I feel like Ridley or whatever her name was way more threatening than her. And she was not a good villain. I feel like
if Tits McGee was the villain.
Yeah, Tits McGee, the other girl. She should have been the villain. But yeah, okay, so overall the characters are fine, but a lot of them are unmemorable. I think the only good one is the main character and Ridley.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's not really. They're not really that. They don't really.
They don't. Pop out.
Yeah, pop out.
There were so many characters that were had the potential to be so good, but they just didn't build upon that.
So let's talk about the relationship.
It was terrible.
Like we said earlier, I felt the relationship was forced.
It was just kind of.
There were many moments. Yeah, there were many moments where it was really corny. I feel like they got together pretty fast, and the relationship got pretty rushed.
Yeah, it was unrealistic. I don't know.
He just went to her house and then they start kissing.
Yeah.
And then and also they kiss so much in this movie.
5 seconds every
5 seconds.
time.
And like I said in my Silver Linings review,
yeah.
Too much kissing just makes the
relationships feel
like unimportant.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel meaningful, and that's exactly how the relationship is. And it's not as bad as Twilight, Edward and Bella, but it's not great, and their chemistry is okay. It could have been better.
Like the way he fights for her is like no.
And I feel like they put a lot of cliche things in the relationship, and I know a lot of movies do use those cliches, but they do it in a different angle, different way, because they don't. Yeah,
and when they build relationships in movies, the guy and the girl are usually equal in parts. Like they can do stuff and the other can't, and it balances out. This guy, he can't do anything.
Yeah, and due to plot holes, I don't really understand some of the abilities he has or she has.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So I feel like their relationship, like, full of cliches, full of corniness, and it didn't feel realistic.
I would cringe every time.
They're not believable, and the way they got together felt rushed, and there are times where the way he acts, like, he acts like he's in love with her.
Yeah.
But you just don't feel it.
Yeah. And the fact that they're 16. She's not even 16. She's 15.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why is he so attached to her?
Yeah.
I have not seen any evidence of them really getting together. Like, there were, but like it wasn't enough.
It does not have glue to hold the bricks.
So overall, this movie was a disappointment. I mean, I was kind of excited, so I had some expectations.
Yeah, but it's a step down from Warm Bodies.
Yeah.
In terms of book adaptations, you would know.
Yes, so, in terms of the book adaptations, like, in my Warm Bodies review, I said, like, Warm Bodies is a step forward in book adaptation, and I think Beautiful Creatures kind of took a step back now, and hopefully Immortal Instruments will bring it back up once again. But overall, Beautiful Creatures was really sluggish, really boring, unmemorable characters, some interesting things with the casters and stuff.
But not enough to hold your attention.
Yeah.
Not very strong relationship, and this is basically Twilight, but flipped around.
Yeah.
So basically now the girl is the one with powers, the guy isn't.
And the guy's just useless.
And I wouldn't say the relationship's as worse as Twilight, but it's not great.
Yeah.
And could have been better, had potential. So overall I give this movie a 6 out of 10. I felt like, although there were a lot of disappointing moments and a lot of stuff I didn't like, there were some moments where if you dug through it, like I said before,
if you dug really deep,
I like some things. So how about you guys?
I wouldn't even give it a 6. I'd give it a 5.
5?
5.5. Just because there were some parts I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Right. So my recommendation is, if you read the book, I guess I recommend watching it, because probably if you read the book,
you want to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, and you probably might get more out of it than us who have not read the book.
Well.
I would not recommend it if you have not read the book, because you're probably gonna be really frustrated, really bored. But if you have, once again, I guess I'd recommend it.
Yeah.
So that's it for our review of Beautiful Creatures. If you like this review, like it. If you like it even more, favorite it. If you like it even more, share it. Subscribe to our channel for updated content. We also have personal channels now, so you should subscribe to that. We're going to have behind-the-scenes stuff and vlogs. If you watch this movie, give your review down below. Or if you agree or disagree with us, why not tell us below as well. And that's it for now, I guess. I'll see you guys later. So the reason we're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio is, recently, he was in the movie Unchained, and he portrayed the character